Have you ever wondered what it takes to be a pan-India superstar? So many of you would aspire to be one. Our next session is with a southern superstar, Roshan Mathew, on what it takes to be a pan-India hero.
Welcome to our Mind Rock session. I'm Nabila Jamal and I have a special guest with me right here, Roshan Mathews, a versatile actor who's transcended borders, really showed us that language is no barrier. He's done several Malayalam films, now into Bollywood. I have him with me right here to give us a glimpse into his journey in the film industry. Roshan, thank you very much and congratulations on your rise.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right. Roshan, I'm going to dive straight into your career, your film career. First of all, congratulations for Kuruthi. We hear it's done very well on the OTT platform. Your take on that?
Yeah, it feels great. Kuruthi was a film that I was always very excited about. It was a great team to work with, an amazing bunch of co-stars, a very exciting, relevant story. So, and more importantly, it was a really, really enjoyable shoot experience. So, I'm very glad that translated onto how the film is being received by the audience. And I'm very thrilled by the response that it's getting.
I know, and I hear that you were quite jittery to play the role of Ibrahim, but you still, literally slipped into his shoes and so effortlessly, and that's what it shows. I'm going to take, you've got to take us through the ride and journey of that role, but just in a bit. Let me start with your, the days that you started off. You studied engineering, then you did physics, so left both to pursue an acting career entirely. How did you really catch this acting bug?
See, I didn't really know what to do after school, right? I mean, even after 10th, I wasn't really sure which stream to pick, what I wanted to become, nothing of that sort. So I guess the only thing I knew was what I didn't want to do, and that was to be stuck in a boring job. And, by boring, I mean, like my dad works at a bank and he's always been an absolute workaholic. He's always worked long hours. It looks like he's doing all the work there is to do in that building. That's how it feels. So,
sincere, committed. The generation was like that.
Exactly. And my mom's an engineer. She worked for the PWD. So I've watched both of them sort of work really hard every day of their lives. And I've always been terrified at the thought that, shit, if I get a job like that, and I've seen both of them at their workplaces and, what I know of their jobs and the nature of it, I know. And I've always thought if I ever end up in a job like that, I'm possibly not going to be happy. And I don't know how they're doing it. So the scariest thing for me was to end up having to do something that I did not find exciting enough for the rest of my life. I had no idea what I wanted to do. But then I quit engineering college after a year. Then I went to Madras Christian College. And I was doing BSc in physics. And yeah, not particularly interested in the subject. It was just the only, either physics or English would have been the only course that I could have gotten into MCC for. And I found theatre there. A professional theatre group from Chennai was in college one day auditioning for their play. Went in for an audition because I'd done a couple of plays in school and had fun doing it. So yeah, we started rehearsals for that play and I realized I was very happy, working it. The energy in the room is always electric and that I was craving for every day. And every day I was going in for rehearsals. If my scenes were to be rehearsed that day, I used to keep thinking, okay, I have to do it better today than I did it the last day. And I hadn't felt that way about anything else that I was doing at that point. So I thought, okay, maybe if I pick this up and specifically theatre, I wasn't even thinking about films at that point. I just thought if I continue doing this, I'd be happy because, there'd be something to work towards.
Many superstars have a run for their money now thanks to OTT platforms. And we have people like Roshan Mathews blooming, getting offers left, right and center. So you interestingly made your debut on OTT with Tan Lines 2016 and then jumped to films. So why didn't you really take us through exactly what your imagination is, while you took up this OTT project?
I used to audition for ads or web series or music videos or, corporate videos or films, whatever was available, whatever I could audition for, I used to. And that's how this particular web series worked out. Now, so I went into it purely with the intent of, making money. And when you're auditioning and when you're trying to find work to sustain, you don't have the luxury to pick and choose your projects or, find what you're looking for. You just do what you get. I was just very fortunate that Dandelions happened to be a really fun, exciting project with a bunch of extremely talented people. Roshit, who went on to do Patal Lok and Pari,
Yeah.
was the director of Dandelions, and more than anything, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to shoot. I got to work with a great team. The energy was amazing. But more than any of that, I think Dandelions is what got me to sort of enjoy working in front of the camera. Until then, everything I had done, and that was very little camera work, just like a couple of ads here and there, mostly just that. But Dandelions is where I realized, hey, this thing that I like doing on stage, I can modulate it for the camera, and it is a very interesting thing to experiment with. It was a lot of fun, sort of figuring the medium out. So I wanted to do more of it. So when I ended up in Kerala, a few months later, I started auditioning for whatever films I could over here, and that's how Malayalam films sort of started off. So yeah, Dandelions really got me to be excited about the medium more than anything.
You've already had 3 releases on OTT. Choked, See You Soon, Kuruthi now. So, according to you, can really theatres now survive this juggernaut that you see in the form of OTT platforms?
Yeah, I don't think theaters are really fighting for survival or anything. Obviously, it's going to be very difficult. It is a very difficult phase that theaters are passing through. But I don't think it's the sort of thing that will become extinct. It's
People still enjoy the theatre experience, absolutely.
yeah, definitely. Just like theater, the art form has come through all of this and has always been struggling, but it has always managed to survive. So, very similarly, it is going to a movie theater, watching a film together with like a whole crowd of strangers. All of that is on some level also part of our culture.
Yeah.
It is like how many other experiences like that do you have when you're living in a city? How many other experiences or emotional journeys do you go through together with a bunch of people, or like 500 or 1,000 people that you don't know at all?
Yeah.
It is quite surreal.
And we see in the South, you have people, this kind of frenzy that they have about their stars that they idolize, and they love to go to theatres, whistle, shout, yell. It's just, it's an outing for them. And they actually, I know people in Tamil Nadu literally save up only to go every week for their favorite stars release or whatever. Film is the biggest deal in the South, mostly. And do you see the same in Malayalam also, Malayalam film industry?
Yeah, definitely. See, for us, like, and any festival like Onam or Eid or Christmas, nothing's complete without watching a big movie at a theater, fighting for those tickets. That was a huge part of my childhood. Waking up early, going and queuing up in front of a theater on release day, just so you can get a booking. Back when like online booking wasn't a thing.
You've acted with stalwarts already within the industry. Tell us something about Kuruthi, Prithviraj, your role there. Very exciting to see this unit come together again. Such fabulous actors. Go on.
Yeah, so I had worked Pude with Prithvi, and I came out of that film wanting to work more with him. He's really inspiring to work with. So I was waiting for a project to come along, and Kuruthi came very unexpectedly, and it was a fabulous script, very exciting for what it is, and also because of the way it's structured. All these characters are sort of together in the whole journey. So I immediately knew that whoever the other actors are, if they're a fun bunch, then it's going to be really, it's going to be a great experience making this movie.
2020 has been your year with 3 big releases in,
Yeah, I mean, I was very lucky to be part of these projects which were being put together, and yeah, it's not like any of it was planned or expected. It all just happened.
Since Kuruthi is your latest release, what's the one takeaway from the film? What according to you is for the audience to watch out for? Just a small teaser.
See, I think about Kuruthi, what really excited me has always been the fact that it is a very entertaining commercial action thriller, the film, but it does not come without its layers. So everything that happens in the film happens for a great, pertinent, relevant reason. Everything that all the events sort of happen very organically, and what you see on the outside, while it is as entertaining as it is, or I hope that it is, there's also a fight within, or a lot of questioning happening within for all of these characters, which I think makes that sort of layering is what makes Kuruthi an exciting project for me.
Be it Muthon, Jallikattu, Joji, So what really is in the air in Kerala that filmmakers here think out of the box, and they're so often appreciated beyond you know, Indian borders as well? You have international recognition coming in for Malayalam cinema.
Yeah, yeah. See, I've been hearing this a lot in the recent past. I've also found myself very often in situations where I feel like I'm taking credit for a lot of other people's work, you know. I am very glad that this is the time when I'm getting to work here, getting to work with these people. And for me, the way I look at it, I think one really important reason for what is happening here to be happening is that the audience here is very receptive. They appreciate quality, quality films. They are up for an experiment. They give you a shot no matter what. You know, you don't have to have a formula in place. As long as you make a good movie, you still stand a chance of doing well at the theaters or, you know, right now on an OTT platform.
You know what's amazing? What I notice is, I'm half from Kerala myself. What I notice is that unlike other film industries, you don't see the Kerala industry really running after commercial spicy cinemas, you know, or just the typical ones that you see across industries. They're mostly based on storylines and emotions. The actor can look, however, as real, the better it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, those are some of the
I
very
somehow feel perfection is not allowed in Malayalam cinema. You got to have those flaws for them to really hook on to that film.
Yeah, because I feel like they're striving for a different understanding of perfection. No, it's not as superficial as that. Is what I felt at least. And that's great.
Well, that gives us also great actors. That's where, you know, talents grow and blossom. You shot a Tamil film as well now, Cobra. Do you aspire to do a major film in different industries as well? Of course, as an actor, you always want to transcend borders, but how keen were you on Tamil industry?
No, I mean, see, so Tamil is a language that I am comfortable with. I'm not as fluent with it as, say, English or Hindi or Malayalam. But I can, it is accessible to me. So again, like as far as it's a language that's accessible to me or a character that I can play convincingly, I really want to, and I really would love to enjoy working in as many different environments as possible. So I've never really seen very clear boundaries between industries or anything, because I sort of feel like stories are universal if they're told well enough.
So is it really easier than ever now at this moment to do multiple languages? Has OTT in fact made that more possible and a smoother process?
I mean, because our films are being watched by a much wider audience, you know, like every Malayalam film is sort of now, as long as it comes on a platform like an Amazon Prime or any platform that is popular through the country, I think our films are sort of a pan-Indian, you know, accessible to a pan-Indian audience, being watched by a lot of people. So because of that, there is a sense of familiarity that comes. People know us, know our work, and I'm not just talking about actors here. People know filmmakers and technicians in Malayalam as well by their name or by projects that they worked on. So that, I guess, definitely helps.
Now, you've also done Choked with Anurag Kashyap, Darlings with Alia Bhatt. What's the biggest difference between working in the Malayalam film industry and now in Bollywood, Hindi?
This is a question I've been asked a lot of times, and I've always struggled to find an answer purely because so I've only done these two films in Hindi, which is an extremely tiny number of films to have done to have this sort of perspective. And also Choked and Darlings were two completely different experiences for me. While Choked was more like a Malayalam film in many ways, you know, this, like how I felt shooting it was very similar to how I felt shooting a couple of films here. And Darlings was entirely different. It didn't feel like anything that I had done before. So I guess it is more of a project to project sort of thing. It's not really that much about the industry, or maybe that's just the understanding that I have right now.
All right. Now we know that it's been 16 months of the pandemic. It's been quite a tough time for you, for us, all of us. But since you're the man in the spotlight, what's the good news from your personal or professional life that never really fails to make you smile, give you that hope? Give us a small story behind it.
See, a couple of things that I've already said. I love it when a film that, you know, I had a good experience making is received well by the audience. And by received well, I don't even mean that it's praises all around for the film. As long as the film sort of is gets the attention that it deserves, or is spoken about, or is discussed, or is like does something to someone basically. That gives me a lot of joy. Again, like that's also something I find difficult to let in. It has to be a conscious effort to even take that in.
All right, you need to pat yourself on the back for coming this far. You've recently wrapped up with Darlings. Tell us something about it. We're excited. Alia Bhatt, what not? Go on.
Yeah, again, so that was a completely different experience for me, and that's sort of what I was looking for in a way. I just wanted to do something in an environment that was nothing like what I was beginning to get comfortable with here. And even here, it's not like every movie is the same, but yeah, this was a completely different setting, different way of working. It was a much bigger project than anything I've been part of before. Alia, Shefali, and Vijay are three actors whose work I find I really admire, and I find all three of them very exciting. And
Yeah.
it was a very, very exciting part for me in that sense that I got to play with all three of them a lot. And Alia is great to watch. She's just like, she comes in so prepared with what she has to do. I mean, I don't know if she sits and prepares for it, or if it's just something that she has achieved over the years, but she's so sure, and that level of conviction in what she does is great to watch, and obviously a lot of fun to play with when you're doing scenes.
We're
with her.
eager to watch out for that. But here's some questions I'm going to fire right at you. Speaking of co-stars here, describe these co-stars I'm going to mention in a sentence, all right? Fahad Fasil, let's start with him.
Always strives for the best possible way of doing the scene.
Okay, Vikram,
Most humble person I've come across.
Alia Bhatt,
Most professional, most precise.
and Prithvi Raj, your favorite.
Yeah, most driven and extremely inspiring to be around.
All right. So speaking of the shows that you binged on,
The last few, Scam 1992, binged, loved. Mayor of Easttown, this show called Kidding on HBO. Then, Fleabag, Chernobyl. Yeah, there are a few.
nice. Good choice. I like Fleabag. Your first
Oh, yeah.
celebrity. That was so fun, quirky, no? Your first celebrity
Yeah.
crush.
First celebrity crush. I don't know. So many from when I was young. Urvashi from Spadiga.
Now we'll see. Now when you what about now? Celebrity crush now.
Celebrity crush now is a little confusing. I'll just stick to when I was a child. Urvashi from Spadigam, I think, is a great one.
Okay, who's the last person you stalked on Instagram then?
I don't know if I can. So I won't reveal the name, but a collector of posters and general movie-related memorabilia. I mean, it's not really stalking. It is a public page, so you are.
God, Roshan. Okay, the most overrated film or show that you thought?
It's overrated. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are many, but nothing's really coming to mind right now.
Okay, so tell me, if you aren't acting, then what do you like? What do you do?
I'm always busy, is what I've been told. All of my friends would tell you the same thing. I'm always busy with something or the other. They don't really know what, and sometimes I don't really know what either. But it's very difficult to sort of just find me lying around chilling as much as I'd like to.
And if I may ask, your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure.
Come on, finally don't be diplomatic. Go for it.
No, I just like excessive cleaning count, because I feel adequately stupid,
It
but
counts.
sometimes
It totally counts. That's totally an issue.
yeah. I go after it and I'm thinking, this is so pointless. It's going to be back to how it was in like half an hour. So yeah.
No, but trust me, cleaning something is like literally cleaning your soul. It
Oh,
can get
thanks.
that
I'm very
addictive.
glad you get it. Very
It
glad
is.
you
I
get
told you it is. It can be an issue. All right, finally, as I wrap here, Roshan, what's your magic moment? Something that really makes you smile or wonder?
I think when when someone I have a lot of respect for likes the work I've done or something that I've been part of, that makes me happier than most things. And you know, there are some of those memorable moments. The first time I got a call from Anurag sir after he watched the edit of Muthon, you know, like those just stay, and it's sort of like a happy place that I can go back to even on a really tough day, thinking, oh, so that did happen, which means there is something to just rediscover. Yeah.
Awesome. It was so fun talking to you, Roshan Mathew. It was really, you know, so refreshing to know that there's such a simple, humble, sweet, and a very disciplined person right behind all those fantastic roles that we've seen on television. I hope you embody many more and you become the superstar that we'd like to see you in the days to come. All the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.